Hi there. This morning I have a lecturer in our native EduCare courses with me, Itai Ngoshi, and I'm going to just be picking his brain, find out a little bit more about the EduCare courses we offer at Bellevue Institute of Distance Learning. Morning, welcome.
Morning.
Okay, so let's jump right in. I like to start with a difficult question. If I study EduCare in 4, in 5 and 6, does that make me a teacher?
No, it doesn't make you a teacher. For you to be a teacher, you have to have a degree in teaching. For these EduCare-nated subjects, you can lead a creche, you can work at a creche, at an early childhood center. That's what I can say. But you are not qualified to teach in a primary school or a secondary school. You have to get a degree for teaching.
I mean, certainly there's lots of demand for creches. With working parents, there's always some small creche from 6 kids up to 30 kids. It's a way for people to start their own businesses, but I do think it's important to distinguish between am I working in a school or am I working in a creche or am I working in a daycare center.
Yes.
Now let's look at the NATED EduCare program. Can you give us some detail? How does the levels work? Entrance criteria, exams, that kind of stuff.
For our NATED EduCare program, we have got N4, that progressed to N5, that progressed to the diploma, that is N6. So you have to register for your N4. After you register, we register you with the Department of Education. You do our assignments. After you do our assignments, then you are competent. We then book you for exam. Then when you write exam, our exams you write for N4, we have got 4 exams, 4 subjects. When you pass, you are competent to go to N5. Then you write 4 exams again. Then you go to a diploma, that is N6. You qualify for a diploma. But our programs, they are designed in such a way that if you finish your N4, you can go and practice.
Okay.
Yes. If you finish your N5, you can say now it's over, you can go and practice. But we recommend our students to go and get a diploma so that they can be fully qualified professionals in EduCare.
Okay, but so question then, if I finish my N4 subjects, my N4 exams, do I actually get a certificate or do I get something at the end of N4 level?
You get a certificate in N4. Yes.
From whom do I get that certificate?
From the Department of Education.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, and it's accredited.
Okay.
Yes.
So, question. I understand if I pass the theory at N4 level, I get a certificate. If I pass the theory at N5 level, I get a certificate. If I pass the theory at N6 level, I get an N6 level certificate. So what must I do to get my N6 level diploma in EduCare?
You should go for an in-service training, whereby you go at a creche, at an ECD center, then you do practicals. When you are assessed those practicals, when you are competent, then now you can be awarded with your diploma.
Okay. So I'm thinking of how long it would actually take me to study and complete the program. It sounds like it's 3 levels of training, it's 3 certificates, and then practical work for the diploma.
Yes.
Can you give me an idea of, if I study really hard, if I'm living at home and I'm not even working, how quickly could I do it? And then also, how much time do I have? Some people are worried about running out of time.
What I usually say is you can take 6 months each level. That's the minimum.
Okay.
6 months each level. Whilst you are doing your 6 months each level, you can do your 18-month practical there. Whilst you are studying. Then the maximum period, it will be 3 years to complete. But when you are taking it fast, we recommend our students to take it fast. That's 6 months per level, and the maximum will be 3 years. That is a year per level, whilst you are doing your 18-month practical.
Cool. So I guess it's always a question of what, for me that one question is time, and the other question for me is cost. if I'm going to take the whole 3 years, if I'm not such a fast student, is it going to cost me more, or is it going to cost me the same as the person who's doing it in 18 months?
It's going to cost you the same.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you can take as much time as little time as you want.
Yes.
Okay, now Educare really is for the person who has passed matric, because you've got matric as an entrance criteria.
Yes.
What about the person who wants to work with children, who wants to work in a creche, but they haven't passed matric? What would you recommend for a person like that?
We have got non-accredited courses that are from our Educare platform. We've got child psychology. Those are for those without matric.
Okay.
They can study child psychology, they can study child development, child daycare. Yes, those are for the people without matric.
Okay, I don't have matric, but I want an accredited course. I want a diploma. What can I do?
We recommend you to join our matric department. We offer matric, adult matric. You can study your matric. After you finish your matric, then you can go for an accredited course.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Yan.